How do I decide when to build and when to buy? Ideally, I'd like to make everything. But obviously I don't have enough time to mine all the materials and do everything from scratch. So I have to pick and choose. I would rather spend a week building something than spend a day at some boring job making the money to buy a similar thing. For a lot of reasons. One, I don't want to waste my time doing something boring. I'd rather do the fun thing and build it, even though it takes longer. But I also learn more doing the real thing than I would, doing some boring, monotonous job to make the money that I don't care about. I'm not gaining anything from that other than the money. Also, I can build things to my specifications. I can come up with new ideas and make them and blah blah blah. And with a lot of things, I feel that I do have some input that's useful in the design. So like something like a screwdriver, I don't feel like I have a ton of input. I mean, I do have some ideas of actually how I'd like to make screwdriver better and screws and stuff, but there's a lot of screwdrivers out there that work pretty well, and there's billions of screws, and I don't need to make those because they're cheap and they work pretty well, so that's a pretty low priority thing. But something like a vehicle, like a boat or a car, I can make that cheaper, I can build it better, like without planned obsolescence in there. I can learn stuff, and I can add to the design, in a way that I think is useful. So yeah, I always want to build vehicles and stuff like that. Now, in terms of buying stuff, I would rather buy a stainless steel tape measure that costs like $15 or something like that, rather than like a $4 regular one. Now, you might say, oh, but only rich people buy the expensive thing, and you're probably right. Now, some people are just rich. They just have billions of dollars. For those people, it doesn't matter. But for people who are like me, who don't have bajillions of dollars, you do a simple calculation and realize that the stainless steel item is going to last like 10, 20 times longer than the regular item. And you just do a bit of simple math and realize that one of these costs much less than 10 or 20 of the junky cheap ones. And this is going to last probably the rest of my life. And that's how an adventure builder applies honesty to his world. So what tools do I have here? Well, when I first got here, I had like a pocket knife, and that was about it. But I've slowly been collecting some hand tools and junk and stuff. I do have my welder here, but I'm not making anything with steel because it rusts, because I'm by the ocean. I have my 3D printer, my laser cutter. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I have a lot of hand tools, not a lot of power tools, but that's fine. Also, a lot of stuff that I had before didn't make it here for various reasons. But that's okay. I wasn't going to bring a lumber mill all the way here anyway. And then, some stuff kind of disappeared on its way here. And I'm just not going to worry about that because I'd rather be here than keeping people, friends from liberating some of my stuff, stealing it, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so I just have a bunch of junk, I don't know. And then whenever I need a tool, I just go get it. Or make it. Yeah, I probably make it more often. Oh, some of the coolest tool stuff I have here is all these solar panels up on the roof. I never had that much electricity before when I was, at least, as long as I've been off-grid. Now I've got so much electricity, I don't even know what to do with it. Yeah, I do. I do know what to do with it. When trying something new, it's easy to make mistakes and get hurt. How do you minimize the cost? First, I try to prevent disasters. In terms of safety, the most important thing is awareness. All the safety equipment in the world won't save you if you're falling asleep while table sawing. There's a good chance you're going to run over your fingers. But if you're aware and paying attention and not doing anything stupid, most safety equipment is completely worthless because it's only there for when you're not paying attention and doing stupid things. Now, sometimes stuff happens, and it's, not good stuff happens. And in those cases, it's important to remain calm and don't panic, and don't try to fix it while panicking. Because that's where you get problems that might be little problems turning into huge problems. So when I do make a mistake, or I do something that seems like it might be costly, I try to just chill out and step back and say, okay, maybe it's not as bad as it seems. And I'd say like 95% of the time, I'll realize some reason or something that's going on where, you know, it's not as bad as it seems, or I can save it, or, oh wait, I can use this for another thing that I was going to build something for, and then do. As long as you don't panic, a lot of mistakes are just not as bad as they seem at first glance. And other than that, I mean, I try to keep enough resources available to be prepared for a disaster. Like, I keep enough money in the bank so that if for some reason we have to do some emergency thing that will cost money, I'll have some money for that. And we keep enough food in the house that if there's a huge storm and we can't go get food for a while, you know, we're good for like a few weeks, month or something. But the other part of this is that an asteroid could fall on my head right now and there's nothing I can do about it. So, you know, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Which is why adventure builders think humility is important. Why not build my own solar panels? I have built a few of my own in the past, but generally speaking, they're made pretty well, and I don't feel that I have enough design input, or, you know, I don't have enough to learn from that process to warrant the extra resources it would take to do it all myself. Do I have any future robot plans? Yeah, totally. I'm actually kind of really looking forward to building some fiberglass big robots. But I have some other stuff I have to take care of before that, like, you know, building the workshop. Do I worry about my fiberglass creations being out in the sun because UV light, you know, makes fiberglass brittle? Yeah, but I paint them all and I just try to keep lots of paint on them. Do I have plans for a metal shop on the island? Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I don't really have plans specifically for a metal shop. I want just like a shop that can do everything, including metal. Stainless steel though, mostly anyway. Well, and aluminum. I generally want to work with materials that aren't gonna just rust and fall apart with all the salt water around.